Flip is a TV show where three people from three different worlds come together to create opportunities to leave a legacy.
Terry is a high-energy powerhouse realtor with a success story like no other.
Rob and Shannon are a super fun, down-to-earth couple that have beat the odds and are wildly successful in the real estate world.
Rob is a high-energy, big-hearted guy whose canvas is the houses that he works on. As y'all can tell, Rob is on go all the time.
Whoa! So getting into real estate honestly was a lot harder than I thought. To be real, I thought it was just about, learning how to show houses and whatnot. I was in for a rude awakening.
This is what I do, this is what you do, this is what you do. How can I add value to your life and vice versa?
So when we got ready to do Betty White, the guys were not on the same page. They did a very quick renovation on that house. There was a couple of hiccups right at the beginning before it listed, but once it listed, we were stacked with showing appointments, and we ended up with 9 offers on Betty White within the first day. So my job as the realtor was to take all of those offers, and I put together what's called a net sheet, an estimated closing net sheet for the sellers, so that I'm only presenting the numbers to the guys. That way they're not biased by who the real estate agent is, who the home buyer might be, because in this market, most people move within 10, 20 miles of their house, and so they might have known who the buyer might have been. So to take out all of the emotional factors, I just present the numbers. So after I got all of the offers prepared with estimated net sheets and closing costs for the guys to review, I just had them meet me at my office, and I had all of the offers and net sheets face down, and we just kind of turned up just the money sheets for them to see the bottom line of what they would net after all expenses. So we narrowed it down. We started out with 9. We started narrowing it down by different contingencies that some of the offers had, and we narrowed it down to an FHA loan and I think a conventional loan. And at this point, the guy still did not know who's the offer, who sent in the offer, and so it was kind of split. Rob wanted the conventional, Terry wanted the FHA loan. They argued a little bit about it. I was, again, the deciding factor, and I said, hey, I really like the FHA loan, the terms of it, and you net a little more. And so when they all agreed, I turned that sheet over to let them know that it was actually Terry's mom who had submitted that offer for a buyer that she was working with.
Well, it was kind of a stressful journey for us. We had looked at several homes prior to this one becoming on the market. We had actually put in a couple of offers on a couple, and we didn't get our offer accepted. My client was getting a little discouraged and frustrated. Yes. It was summer 2021, and the market was hot and the inventory was low, and it was really hard getting offers accepted during that time. And we were always in competitive offer situations. Yes. This particular home came on the market, and I'll never forget, it was a Saturday morning. She called me, I want to see this house. I want to see this house today. And I said, okay. So we got out here and looked at the house. She came in and said, this is my house. Get me this house, is what she said.
Yes.
And the rest is kind of history, but I'll let her tell you about what she thought about the house when we first came in. It checked off all the boxes in terms of what she was looking for.
So Betty White was pretty tough in the fact that we priced it a little high, knowing that the market was a little crazy, and was hoping to get it a little above asking price so that the guys could make a profit. What I did not expect is just how high some of those offers were that came in. So we listed it around 210, 215. Our offers got up to over 250,000 for this particular house. Sad news was they did the renovation so fast that taking that FHA loan was actually a bad idea, because for FHA, an owner has to have a house for 90 days before they can resell it. So we actually had to release from our original contract, have the buyer write a letter of intent stating that on that 91st day we would go back under contract under the same terms. And so we were able to work really well with Deborah on that to get that to work out.
So we'll get you a window door. It'll be 48 inches. roughly by 32, which it matches what we have already existing on the house, okay?
Right.
And that actually give you a clearance of 32 inside by 24, and you need, per code, you're gonna need a 24 wide by 20, so it's 20 for anybody to escape during a fire or firefighter to get inside.
15 by 15.
Oh no, please, I mean, we're gonna buy a lumpa window.
We had to scratch our heads on how could we put in the best offer to win this house, because we knew there were other offers, just knowing how nice it was and just knowing what the market was doing at that particular time. So we stepped out on faith and we said, you know what, we're just gonna buy this house as is, no inspection. And that's the offer that we presented. And we also had to put some money on the table over the asking price in our offer as well.
I called Deborah, like she said, I want that house. And I have it. So when we came and looked at the house, I said, yes, this is what I want. This is exactly what I want.
When that 91st day came and we got back under contract, then we had to worry about appraisals. And sadly, the appraisal value on that house in that neighborhood only came in at $197,000. So you think about your net sheet at $250,000, but now you're really only making $197,000, and then you still have to subtract all of those expenses out. Their profit value went down quite a bit.
So early one morning right after Betty White had been finished the construction, you called.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So every other day I would go by the job, right? Because it's on the way to take my kid to school. So I'm riding by, and it was the day before we hit the market, and I ride by and the front door is open. I'm like, this can't be good, right? So I walk in, everything seems to be in place until I go downstairs by the water heater, and what happened?
It was cut. It was rough.
Yeah.
You could see probably in my brain going, I knew it.
I didn't even want to call him to tell him my house got broken, because I knew he was going to say, I told you I didn't want to flip a house over there.
But I didn't, right?
Right. No, you never brought it up, but you bring it up now.
Yeah, well, because we can, we're looking back. But I mean, seriously, I've flipped a whole lot of houses outside of our venture, and this kind of stuff just happens. It doesn't matter if you're in a up-and-coming neighborhood or well-maintained, just people live there for a long time.
The simple fact that a house is vacant for a long time and now you're doing stuff in it, people know it's some kind of activity going on. But the good thing about it is that we were smart enough to go check on our projects every 2 days, because it could have been worse. But it was great, man. We called everybody and it was fixed within 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours.
Hit the market the next day and we was good. So another flip tip, check on your projects.
Check on your projects. We had the stagers out there, the plumbers out there, because you had checked on it. I mean, it could have gone a couple of days.
Yeah, because the door it was literally wide open, and so that could have been very bad. So I learned, and it's all good.
It's all good. Permits. Permits is a thing that is necessary in what First Flip does.
That's right.
And I tell everybody to pull permits all the time. And what did I do on this one?
Try not to pull a permit.
Tried not to pull a permit. And we had this mystery car coming up. Everybody kept saying this black car is parked out front and taking pictures, you remember?
Yeah.
It was a Fairfield police officer.
Yeah.
And they didn't like the fact that we were working without pulling permits, which I knew better.
Yeah.
Nobody around me knew better, but I knew better as a contractor.
Right.
We were trying to save time more than money. It was just, we were trying to save time.
We got a little too excited. So it shut us down for 2 days?
Couple of days.
However, we got our permits and everything was back running.
And Fairfield loves First Flip.
Flip tip, get your permits.
Get your permits.
It was just a smooth process, actually working with Shannon Malcolm, who's the person who actually listed the home. And they were just great to work with throughout the whole process. And it really was an easy deal. It really was. So we got to the closing table, she got her keys, and she's in her new home.